I'm Haley Taylor, and you're listening to the Rough Draft Diaries. Yet again, this week on the Rough Draft Diaries, my guest visited me at WGTE Studios, mainly because the initiative that was nominated doesn't really have a home office.
My name is Adam Smidi, and I've been in Toledo pretty much all my life. I am been running a family-owned and operated car dealership, and I graduated from UT. I started teaching part-time as a college instructor, teaching business courses, management, sales, and I'm currently pursuing a PhD in organizational behavior and leadership.
So Adam does a few different things, but he was nominated to us on behalf of an initiative that he helped create. It's called Unified Eid. Adam likes to call it a task force. It's a collaboration between several area mosques and community centers that aim to bring the Muslim community together to celebrate the holiday of Eid as one. So how does it all work? Well, first we need to establish what Eid is.
Okay, so there's two Eids, right? So the first one is usually Eid Ramadan. Everybody knows the month of Ramadan, right? Because all the Muslims are fasting. They can't drink water or eat any food during daylight hours. And so that's the first Eid, Eid Ramadan. The second Eid usually follows a month and a half, and we're on a lunar calendar, so they move back every year. So the second Eid is the Eid of sacrifice. And it traces back to the day Prophet Abraham was commanded to sacrifice his son, or at least he saw that in a dream. And God, of course, being the all-merciful, does not allow him to do so, gives him the sheep. You know the story. He sacrifices the lamb instead. But it shows his commitment. And till today, Muslims celebrate that day with their yearly pilgrimage to Hajj in Mecca. And also, although it's much more difficult here in this country, sacrificing a sheep isn't something we can do here in our backyards. But overseas, it's very common still to sacrifice a sheep and then give the meat to the poor families in need, and also enjoy some yourself.
So the Muslim community joins together, usually at the Seagate Center, for a morning of prayers and then a celebration of food and fellowship. This past year, they had a bouncy castle and face paintings for the kids. Many families also donated money to overseas relief agencies in place of a sacrificed lamb. It's a joyful occasion, but Adam mentioned the roots to this initiative were found in a subject far more serious.
We came together because we realized that the Muslims, not just in Toledo, but around the country, were facing some big problems. Like you said, the misconceptions, the stereotypes that really affect Muslims' mental health and even physical health. You hear the things that are said on the news about the religion, and you lose faith, you lose motivation. You start questioning yourself and saying, hey, is this a bad religion that I'm a part of? Am I going to do something crazy like they say I do on the news? And so, we've had a lot of that happening, and it's kind of worrisome. I have kids now, and I want them to grow up in a community where they feel safe about expressing who they are. And so that was definitely the sentiment, the feeling that we had to become more intellectually and professionally ready to take on, some of these challenges. So that's kind of how it came about.
So Unified Eid became a task force for those who practice Islam to come together. But after 7 years of Unified Eid celebrations, Adam is looking to the future, thinking of expanding the horizons, looking to connect not only the Muslim community together, but those outside of the faith to each other.
The staggering statistic is 75% of Americans have never actually met a Muslim. And I think that says a lot. And I think that really plays into those fears. The best way to learn about Islam is to meet a Muslim. Meet a Muslim, right? Shake their hand, go over their house. They probably are cooking some amazing food. You're going to like it. Meet their family, meet them. This is the only way in my eyes. And, as Muslims, we have a tradition that the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, he recommended that we care for 40 neighbors to each side of our house, meaning that we're supposed to develop relationships, give them Christmas presents, check up on their kids. And I think if every Muslim really lived up to that, you would see Islamophobia become a lot less, because you're having now each of us kind of affect our own circles of influence. And we'd love to see that back from the non-Muslims and the Christians or the non-religious or whatever background you come from. We'd love for you to reach out to us, and we'd love to reach out to you.
Before we wrap up, here are Adam's connections for the next episode of the Rough Draft Diaries.
It's called Cure Your World, and her name is, I'm about to tell you right now, Zobeida Falah. You know who's doing a lot of really good work right now is my friend Ammar Allo with Allo Legal. And then the third one is, I would mention, is my cousin Hussein, but we all call him Deco. That's his Chef Deco.
You'll have to tune in next time to find out who I pick. For now, I'm Haley Taylor. Thanks so much for listening to this episode of the Rough Draft Diaries.